Hey guys, this is Gamer Cow. Welcome back to Touhou, the Genius that Suffers. Last time we knocked out a bunch of enemies in the Forest of Magic 2nd Redux edition, and well, we got a couple of things. We got a meteorite, which I've used for Marissa actually, so we can finally have a Marissa broom for once. And yeah, we got a couple of other stuff, didn't we? We got fun things like the stuff I can't even think of apart from the adamantite shard, of course. So yeah, can't really think of what we got. That's bad. But we had gotten some other cool stuff in this stage, like the border buff and debuff, and the stopwatch was one we also got from here. So lots of fun items in this stage. Just nothing super overwhelming, I guess, although the ribbon was really nice, but that wasn't an enemy drop. So also that blood knife that I forgot to get because I didn't know it was there. I swear that blood knife was more hidden than the adamantite shard, like I said in the being there, like ender part stuff. That was crazy. Anyway, we're taking on Genji this time, and yeah, I'm using that picture again because honestly I kind of don't have another good picture with Alice, Byakuren and Patchouli in it. It's kind of weird. Not so much of a fan of the socks, but hey, that's just me. So, I was challenged to use the Circle 9 formation for a boss at some point, and I hadn't forgotten about it. It was just proving really kinda hard to do. So, we're gonna do it here. I've beaten Genji once in practice with this formation, and I just need to sort of remember to actually use some of the stuff here, and we should be fine. So, let's once again go over the various things to do with this formation, and we'll discuss why I've put people where I have. So, the back character here has a 10% chance of being targeted. They lose half of their speed, but they auto defend before their action. This is a reasonable place to put Byakuren because although her buffs are going to be like slower than everything at this point, she has natural divine barrier because of her scroll, right? She has 20% reduction to everything, and then to add another 50% on top of that, yeah, she doesn't die nearly as easily. So considering she's quite low HP as a character, and she is really important for this fight, it sort of makes sense to put her here. This place also only gets targeted 10% of the time, and a lot of Genji's moves are single targets, so kinda makes sense to me to put her here. Then we have the second spot, the one that gets targeted the most. Reimu has to be here because this spot gets a 30% magic bonus, and magic is kind of important in this fight, so there is that. Unfortunately, it also comes with a 30% defense debuff and a 99% drop in evasion. I don't think she was going to evade anything anyway, so that's okay, but the 30% defense debuff is really kind of bad, and it hurts a lot later on in the fight, which is why we have Alice taking up spot number 4. But that is not the spot we're looking at now. Sanai seems like she's the perfect fit to put here because Sanai will never be attacking. Byakuren could work here as well actually, because this spot has a 25% debuff to both magic and physical attack, but a 33% buff to speed. I kind of feel like Sanai is better here than Byakuren because although Sanai's buffs are really quick thanks to her trees and whatnot, she needs to heal people as well, and her heal speed is not quite as fast because of my growth setup, so yeah, there is that. I should have mentioned Reimu's going to get hit 35% of the time. Sanai and Alice over here both got targeted 20% of the time. Alice takes a 15% speed debuff for a 10% attack bonus here. Doesn't really matter too much. Her skills are quick enough that she'll go ahead of Genji anyway and everybody else because marionettes are like ultra priority. So really, I used to have Youmu here, but then I struggled with the second half of the fight. So I need Alice's defense, and this is the best place to put her. And then we have Satori getting hit 15% of the time. She has a 10% magic bonus, which is quite nice. 20% defense down is not so good, but she sort of makes up for that with a 20% evade and a 5% speed bonus. So that's kind of cool. You know, she has evasion up, which is nice. She won't be doing too much damage anyway, unfortunately, but it's worth having Satori around for the area heals. Speaking of, the way the area heals work here is that I can heal everybody except Byakuran with targeting Alice's spot here. So there's another reason to put Alice in this position, because she's the most defensive character on the team. She usually won't die, and so I can have her in, you know, the major spot where everybody gets healed. Because if this character goes down, the heal will go randomly somewhere else, and sure, if I was to heal Sunai, then I think I get her, I might get her and just Byakuran. It's hard to really tell with this formation. It doesn't work out too effectively, let's just put it that way. So yeah. So that's the formation. The skill set that we're going to be using here is basically full-on offense for Reimu. She only has 6 bombs, which is something I do need to keep in mind. I would ideally like to use the Dragon Slaying Circle, because Genji does have telegraphed breath attacks, but I might not have the bombs for this, because Fantasy Seal Ultimate has a 3-turn cooldown when with her growth tree stuff, which is quite bad, and Fantasy Heaven takes 2 bombs, and she doesn't have that many to begin with. It's kind of a rough situation. Her Gohei doesn't give her bombs anymore, so yeah, she kind of needs to rely on other stuff here. Fantasy Heaven also has a 0-turn cooldown, which does help out quite a lot, so I would rather use this than Ultimate, because it's both more powerful and it can be used consecutively. Just the cost is really kind of bad, but you need to use Reimu's bombs for offense in this fight, I feel. For Sunai, well, Genji is an age-old turtle, a very wise magical turtle, so we actually have Sunai's magic defense buff up here. He can also do some status, variety status stuff, so resistance is a nice one to have. Wind of Prayers isn't really necessary, but I don't want a 4th bomb skill on here. Otherwise, I would have permanent. I would have HP up from her Godly Winds. Here, I would have this, but I don't want to have. Yeah, the points there. Really, I don't know if I should have the magic attack here. I've never used it so far because Byakuran does this, but Byakuran could just overwrite this one. So this might be something I could try and do like turn 2 or turn 3 at the worst, and then we could go from there. She doesn't need any more than the Grand Healing Miracle here. She's still healing enough where everybody gets basically full heals, so that's fine. Alice might not, but Alice gets enough healing anyway, so that is all good. Alice is pretty standard here. Horidol is actually not a good skill to use, so I probably shouldn't use this, and I'll explain why in the fight, but yeah, it's there anyway. I might use it, probably shouldn't though. Satori, Genji can be poisoned. He doesn't take a lot of damage from it, but yeah, basically it's just the best light attack I have. Energy Drain won't get used because it conflicts with the land for Reimu, but just on the off chance that it, you know, becomes handy, I have it anyway. Probably not going to use it. Because of the formation I'm in, Mass Heal actually becomes sort of viable if I give her a magic attack buff, because it'll heal everyone for about 140 damage or so. So that's okay, like, combine that with another heal and it'll do the job just fine. And then Byakuran, yeah, Genji's weak to light, so that's obviously why Reimu is the sole attacker here. You might think my party's a bit lacking on offense, but yeah, this can sometimes help. Genji does have a lot of resistance to variety status though, so don't expect the magic defense buff to happen, or debuff even, but it's there anyway, just in case. Then we have some other cool skills here. Genji also uses a lot of light and dark, so we have Sacred Barrier. Doesn't last very long, but it can do a good job whilst it's there. Obviously stat up, Spell Enhance, Armor Bless because of the 30% debuff to defense that Reimu has. I'll try and cast this if I can. And Hyper Trigger for boosting Induction to try and get that poison to be a little bit stronger. Or maybe to try and trigger Acid Storm's defense down. That is something else I would have done before. Actually, I don't need to do that anymore, so you know what? random stupefy because I can. I don't know. I don't think it'll do anything, but hey. And then Patchouli is Patchouli. Growth wise, we may as well take a look at this first. Honestly, this is probably the best sort of setup I can have with Reimu just now. She has as much into here as I can. I would have loved to have had another single growth point, and I would have put everything into exorcism here, because the spells being less affected by defense is amazing, but I don't have the space for it, because I absolutely have to have spirit attack here. Doing 30% more damage with her bomb skills is way too good, and also having that extra bomb to cast Fantasy Heaven 3 times if I want to is really good. So because I only have the 4 points otherwise, I've got a little bit extra HP and MP, and basically just cut the cooldowns on my barrier down just in case I decide to do that instead. Because I might well do, Alice generally dies if I try to Little Legion the breath attacks, so yeah, we'll see. For Sanai, much the same as before, except I've now got 16 points into Faith because 15% HP is quite nice. That could easily go into heals if you want, because that is definitely viable, especially if you could max out this tree. But I still prefer having my cost half here. I think this is still the most important thing that I could have right now, considering I'm using stuff like magic defense buff, which is expensive, so yeah, there is that. Alice, I had enough points to get an extra bomb with her self-destruct tree. Probably won't be using it, but it's there anyway because it can be. There wasn't any point in getting some extra resistance here. 5 points is not as good as a bomb, and yeah, the physical defense is nice but not required, I don't think. I think Alice is tanky enough with the never fail armor on, which we'll get to in a sec. Satori, unfortunately she's not at high enough level to learn most of the attacks in this fight, so I've taken 5 points out of here so I could put them to trauma, just to try and get the poison up a bit more. You could easily just max this tree, and I'm actually tempted to do so, but I do like the cost down here. I don't think I actually need it too much though, because I'm not generally using too many of the attacks here. So what I could do is I could just, I mean, I've got magic cooldowns -2 here, so everything except mass heal already has 0 cooldowns as a result. I could just max out the trauma tree and attempt to get that poison to be really good, and I think that might well be what I do here, because Satori's learning is not super great in this fight. Again, if I had 1 extra point, I would have probably put it to get extra, more MP here instead. But yeah, Satori's learning is not super strong in this fight, so I think this will be okay. Probably just do it this way around though, because 20% extra damage is not bad. It's nowhere near as good as 40% obviously, but if I'm gonna use her attack skills, then that should be a thing. Then Byakuran, there's a lot more that I would like that Byakuran doesn't have right now, but she needs all up for Amplifying Scroll, that is a must. Casting speed up a little bit considering she's losing a lot that way, it's fine. There's a bit more I could have probably done with that, but basically I'm just looking at having as much status inducing strength as possible and all. It wouldn't be a terrible idea to cut the points in this tree and increase the turns of stuff here. Might actually be a good idea considering, yeah, she's too slow to go ahead of everyone anyway, and the extra duration turn is really good because Sacred Barrier does not last very long at all, and increasing that duration by an extra 2 turns, it's not just 1 turn here, it's 2, that's pretty good. And Patchouli only actually gets bombs off of 1 tree, so she only has 6 bombs, that's really low, but it's enough to use her skill twice, which is what I'm gonna aim to do, really, her 3 bomb skill. Finally, equipment-wise, Reimu, I would love to have the magic ring 2 on here as well, but I think Genji does slash-based attacks as his thing, because most turtles use the fang, right, as their weapon, and I think Genji's attacks also count as slash. So, to try and mitigate that defense down, I have Sword Mastery here. I would love Magic Ring 2, but I think I need the magic attack power more. So there is that. But Reimu's MP is kind of a bit low. But I need the extra bomb as well. I should really have farmed for the cute soul by now. Bombs plus 3 would have been amazing for this fight, and I would have been a lot better off if I did that. But I didn't, because I'm lazy, so yeah. Sanai, you are basically just using defenses against all the magic based stuff that we'll be seeing here, so Light, Dark and Mystic is the attack types that Genji uses. So we have that plus a physical shield, whereas Reimu's using a slightly weaker physical shield, because, yeah, she should be shielded by Alice quite a bit anyway, so there is that. But yeah, the best physical shield I have right now is going to Sanai, so she can hopefully stay alive. For Alice herself, we have a bit of a weird shield here. I actually should switch this, because this isn't that great a shield. I had the diamond shield for a reason. Don't ask me why I had that one on, because I couldn't tell you. But she has Teflon's Magic Sword for 40 magic defense and Bracelet of Reflection, because Alice doesn't have any magic defense to begin with, and that's really not good. She could definitely stand to have magic defense in this fight so that she doesn't just die to magic based moves. The ribbon is just for that tiny bit of elemental defense that I've lost for having removed the Shanghai Greaves, and the Galaxy Ring defense against Mystic, which the ribbon does not. So that's basically the logic here, just partly resist the stuff that's coming towards us. Satori still using her tier 5 eye here, because Nully magic is actually really good in this fight. Considering how much magic gets thrown at us, 15% chance to just take 0 damage from said magic is actually really nice. I don't know if this is the strongest thing that I have for lightweights at the moment. I think it is actually. Mother Nature Robe, yeah, 68 defense is the best I have right now, so that's a good reason to use that. Then extra HP, Poison Enhance, because I want to get a little bit more poison damage out if I can. And the Ring of Light, just because having a bit of defense against light-based moves is good, considering how much light gets used in this fight. And then Byakuran, just a tiny bit of extra HP, and then some resistance to both light and dark, basically is the idea here. She has a full magic shield, so I guess if she gets hit by physical, then she's kinda screwed, but that's where the evasion for the rune armor should, well, probably won't matter, but it's a good armor, it's got a decent amount of defense, and there isn't really a better one I could put on right now, so that is what we have. And then Patchouli can't actually use swords, so she can't have the Melon Sword on, and I don't have any bomb up skills, any more accessories for that, so she just has the 2 experience ones I've made so far. So that is the basics of what we have here. So let's go and take on our first opponent. So yeah, there's a purple pipe. We haven't seen a purple pipe yet, right? But what does the sign say towards this pipe? Is do not look inside, continue on your way. Well, if the sign says to continue, my report of blood is boiling. Yeah, don't even think about it. If the sign says not to look, then you don't look. Oh, Aya. Yep. We don't really have time to look at every suspicious thing along the way, right? So we're just gonna walk past the suspicious looking pipe, and then the pipe talks. Yep, there are people who would ignore it. Yomu's like, who's there? And Genji comes out the pipe. Oh man. And Aya is just like, this is a scoop, I have to take the pictures. Yep, there's a turtle that came out of the pipe. I wonder where that, how familiar that sounds. Yeah, it is a pretty insignificant turtle, right? That's... No, if you're told not to look, then... Well, yeah, most people would look, let's be honest, but, yeah, we didn't want to anger anyone. Yeah, if there's a warning not to look, then, you know, curiosity's a thing, but it also kills cats, and we don't want to have cats killed, so we don't look. Geriatric, yeah, just a little bit. Turtles are full. Oh dear. Yeah. What's up? Maybe you have, Mercer. Long time as Mercer. Okay, so yeah, you should know him, but Reimu's like, I don't know who this is. No, you definitely have. Oh, come on, don't do this. Reimu just is the absolute master of pissing people off. Yeah. Yes, indeed, Satori. Yes, indeed. But yeah, now Reimu's really kind of curious, and Marissa's like, I know what's going on. Pet turtle. Yeah, there you go, Genji. We finally know. Marissa knows what's going on. Yes. So this is going back to PC98, Genji, and there was something like that. Ouch. Oh god, Reimu's just so nasty in this game. But yeah. Apparently Genji still respects her enough to call her lady though. That's But the problem is Genji kinda said that this is meant to be a trap, as we're saying here, so yeah, about that. Oh god, that Reimu smile. Puppies have died. Yeah, every time Reimu smiles, a puppy dies. But yeah, Genji doesn't technically follow Reimu anymore. So, yeah, it's gonna be it. You'll want to talk. That's not very nice. Did someone have... well... sort of. Points. Item for flying, it's not... But yeah, Reimu couldn't fly originally, but now she can. So... ta-da! I'm not quite sure what Reimu's expression is supposed to be there, but yeah, essentially, yeah, class act. Basically, since Reimu can fly now, she doesn't need Genji, and therefore, apparently Genji gets abandoned. And yeah, that is pretty sad, but unfortunately that's it, Satori. You're just being used here, unfortunately. The revenge is not... well, is it really his motive? I don't know. Could well be. That's... yeah. It's a reasonable thing here. But, yeah, the one who Genji belongs to at this point has said to ambush, and that's exactly what we shall see. Be prepared. Correct. I don't think you're gonna get an answer to that one, but yeah, you're not gonna get it that easy. Well, that's what we were gonna do anyway, Genji. So, oh god, the puppy death smile again. Not the turtle, indeed. Well, yeah, well, you're a lot bigger than you used to be, right? Yeah, you have to win. Well, that's... Ouch. Oh noes! The turtle's greatest weakness! Koopa shout. Yeah, they had to make that sort of reference. But unlike regular Koopas, Genji can actually stop himself. That was automatic there, by the way, the text. So, yeah. So that is it. Totally aiming for revenge. I hear you, Mako. So they had the puppy death smile again. Yep. Reimu definitely has grown at in time as well. So, alright, Viatopus has got to, you know, repay a debt here. And we have a new boss music. Boss music number 3 of the game. So, Genji. Oh, Genji. Genji's attacks initially are not too hard to survive, but he has absurd levels of defense here. The major reason that Reimu is my sole character for properly attacking here is because Genji has like 999 physical defense and about 400 magic defense, I think, somewhere around about that. I'd need to double check the points, but I'm pretty sure that's close to where it is. Youmu can do enough damage if you buff her significantly, but it takes 4 or 5 turns to buff her up properly with Byakuya in here, so that is why we are not going to use Youmu here, apart from the fact of just not really defensive enough. So, my first turn is going to be spent using Aether Spray so I can buff the Light Land up, because Light is one of his biggest weaknesses. Ironically, I think Genji actually regens like 50 HP in max Light or Dark Land, so he'll get a tiny bit of HP back, but it's not too significant, and yeah, we'll be fine. So we're going to also buff Magic Defense turn 1, which is good. And we'll just cover the buff characters here. As you can see, we have 3 different levels for Marionette here. It's not the greatest of skills in this fight, I'll be honest, but it sort of works out. And I don't think you can silence this boss, but I'm gonna try for a while anyway, because Satori really doesn't have anything better to do right now, so yeah, we'll just wait for stuff. Oh, yeah, that shield coming in was nice. So Nash is an annoying move that lowers your defense and evasion, and of course Holy there is one of the skills that very powerful attack, but it's also single target, so yeah, you can defend against it pretty adequately and you'll be fine. So this turn, I think what I'm gonna do this turn is I'm gonna use Sacred Barrier now, so my light and dark resistance goes up by 1. Reimu, you can kind of just use this stuff with it. So, as it says here, the Hakurai Amulet does ignore Magic Barrier, and we also have 25% extra damage here. If you can use a Gohei, like a tiered Gohei for this fight, definitely do so, because the Spirit Sign damage up and the Amulet damage is really good. Amulets are better than needles in this fight by like 2.5 times. It's really good. Do I want to raise resistance or magic attack here? I think I'm going to raise magic attack here, and then we'll cover the front row. And Satori can just contribute towards the Light Land. She isn't going to do a whole lot of damage, but it's better than nothing. 440 is actually not terrible, but Genji does have like 30,000 HP, so quite a bit, but you can see how much damage we're dealing there with Reimu, and that's without Byakuya's buffs. So we are going to get a little bit more coming out of that soon. For now though, I'm actually going to raise Sanae's physical defense here, because that should get rid of the Nash debuff, and we'll just make sure she heals herself so she stays in play, because we really do not want her, getting killed here. Otherwise, just pump the land up towards light, and yeah, we'll get as much power out as we can. You see a ton of damage there. Flare is really powerful, it's a mystic attack, and yeah, that kind of hurts, but Satori survived, that's the main thing. I think, did I have resistance to? I don't think I've got resistance to that with Satori. But yeah, you can see Sanae, okay, it didn't like cancelled out. The buff didn't overwrite there, but still, getting rid of the defense debuff is fine. So this turn we're going to raise Byakuren's induction so that she can strengthen buffs here, and we shall have Sanai heal Satori, and we'll just cover Reimu again here, and area heal target Alice. Yeah, if I target Sanai then I hit everyone except Reimu and Satori. So that's a way of healing multiple people with while still healing Byakuren. Targeting Reimu is really bad because then it's just Reimu and Alice that gets caught in it, but healing Alice means I can heal 4 people, so it kind of works out here. So that's fine, and we'll just keep chipping away as much as we can here. And okay, Inhale has come in. Oh, the Lunar Wall of course would run out that turn as well. So this turn, one of 3 breath attacks is going to get used first. Either Holy Breath, Dark Breath, or Neutral. Neutral Breath is a Mystic based move, and that's fine. Holy Breath would kill Alice if she gets hit here, which is a bit of an annoyance. So what I could do, because Genji's still got a ton of HP here, it's not really worth using Royal Diamond Ring yet, because that I'll save for the absolute highest power stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this turn to set up, if you will, and I'm just going to use the circle here. I can use this up to 2 times and not lose all my stuff, so that's fine. And no point in resistance buffing because that would overwrite some of the other stuff that I've got here, so we'll just go ahead and not really anything to do with Sanai, so we'll just have her defend. She can't do any physical damage, so there is that, and we shall defend the back row whilst using area heal, because I think Genji should go ahead of Satori here. And if that's the case, then, well, area heal is still okay to do anyway. Yeah, there's Holy Breath. That would have killed Alice because of the light land that we have. Oh, that's not good. Oh, yuck! And I don't have any way of getting rid of that too. Great Confusion. It's only 3 turns, but I can't use any skills whatsoever whilst that's in play. So, damn, that's powerful. I have no way of removing that because I don't have the skill here, so I guess I should have done resistance buffing before, but I didn't know that was gonna happen, so yeah, it's too bad, but hey, what can you do? Should I try and get the poison on now? I'm just gonna try and get the silence on, actually. I don't think you can silence this guy, I'm pretty sure he's immune to it, but whatever. Acid Storm defense, physical defense debuffer would have been really annoying if that actually landed, but it didn't, so that's good. And, well, I guess we just have a couple of turns to wait out here. I could start using my higher power stuff now, you know, I could start using my spell cards and whatnot, but right now I kind of just want to hold off on that. I want to wait until the time is truly right for using the spellcast. I basically want Byakuren available again before I use Fancy Heaven here. So yeah, double flare cast doesn't really matter because I was defending with Alice, which is good. Just a 1 turn left on this, that's fine. Yeah, you can see this boss fight is a bit more involved than a lot of the ones we've done recently because your offense is kind of difficult to work on here. Let's be honest, this fight shows you just how tanky enemies can be. Okay, I can take a breath attack here. I don't have to immunize this, I can take the breath attack. It's just a question of do I actually want to. What's his HP? I think I've done 12,000 damage here or so far, so I could probably just end this fight in a couple of turns from here. But I do want to have Reimu with a proper magic attack buff before I go on, because Sanai's buff is fine, but the overwrite that Byakuran can do here would be better. Like, Byakuran's buff is stronger, so I want to have hers available before I do anything here. This means Alice is probably going to die this turn, but I might well just Legion. Actually, I could just defend the mid-row, because Byakuran and Sanai both have resistance to the breath attack types. Satori doesn't, but if she gets shielded, then that's fine. Plus, it then gives me a chance to actually learn one of the breath skills that she has. You know, if he doesn't use Holy Breath here. But I'm immunizing it anyway, because I'm, like, caught in two minds as to what I want to do here. There's Neutral Breath coming out. I don't remember if there's a level associated with that. But whatever, the shielding on Alice was kind of good there anyway. Okay, so Reimu has a new magic attack buff, which is good. And I think this turn we're going to just take full advantage of that. And, yeah, we'll... Do I want to raise the magic attack of everyone else? I think I do, actually. And we'll cover Reimu. We shall area heal Satori, because she's the only one who needs it right now. She's likely to get it off before Genji does too much. Yeah. Alice still gets healed, because Alice is in the middle of, like, everything here. She always gets healed. Okay, right, now we can start doing some actual damage. So Royal Diamond Ring increases my magic damage this turn by a third, which is pretty powerful, and you can see Reimu didn't get affected by Sanai's magic buff, because Sanai can't overwrite magic damage, magic or any other buff like Byakuran can. So that's fine. We'll raise magic defense as well. Do I want a Little Legion? I think I'm going to Legion this turn, actually, because I can survive the breath attack if it comes, and we'll just do as much damage as I can here with Patchouli. So this is the true power of the Hakurei Shrine Maiden, I guess, in this fight, because this does like 9,000 damage. It actually did over 10,000 when I used it before, but that's probably just because I had oh wow, that magic defense down as well. Yikes, that's gonna help a lot. And I can actually use this in consecutive turns. I didn't realize that. Most Reborn Commander skills that aren't Aya's have a cooldown. So yeah, we'll just blitz him, because he's basically dead anyway. So that's fine. This is what I was sort of leading up to here. It's a big sort of preparation fight, and then you just do crazy amounts of damage in just one turn, you know. And with a debuff on him as well. Let's see how much this actually does. 10,600. Oh yeah. So there we go. Pretty long fight, very involved, but like I said, definitely a fun fight. And there you go, Nadke, the Circle 9 formation has successfully done a boss fight, courtesy of the magic attack power that Reimu gets. So Byakuran level up, kind of fun. Reimu's at level 43 now, which is fine. It's one of the major reasons I wanted to use Reimu in the last stage is because of this fight, because I wanted to make sure she was going to be strong enough. And I didn't even use the fancy seal that she got in the end, I just used Heaven because it's better, but oh well. Bomb management is difficult with Reimu because she doesn't have enough bombs to start with, but Patchouli does get a skill here too, Active Land, so that's really nice. It's a pretty fun skill. And yeah, the puppy Death Smile has come up again, but yeah, it was kind of expected. Still one fight where Reimu can actually go, yeah, I kicked your butt, because yeah, you will not defeat me so easily. Well, we kinda just did. Just go away already, ouch. Yeah, so Genji is pretty good against that, right? Because he can just stop himself at any time he wants. However, apparently Reimu's pretty strong to just pick him up like that, but... that reference though, unthinkable. Who knows? And Reimu's just friggin' happy as all hell with this. And there we go. Away Genji goes. Well, turtles are known for their high defense, right? Oh, I know who's the evil one here, Satori. Yep. So that is it. That is our way through the Forest of Magic. And next time, well, this is where we have to go. But before then, do we get any more things for beating Genji? I don't remember. So let's go find out. Akio! Yes, we do. We get stuff for defeating Mr. Genji. And yeah, he does resist a lot of different attacks because of the shell. I will show in a sec what the defenses and stuff from him are like, because yeah, it's a solid fight. But for beating it, we get some more lightweight shields, so we get one more lightweight shield at least, and on a Bashira, so that's kind of cool. These are stuff, yeah, we can have a look at these as well. They're resistance accessories, upgrade stuff. So we don't get too many things, but we do get enough. So, let's quickly take a look at them, then we'll take a look at Genji's attributes, and then that will be that. So, the things that we can make now is this. So this is the Earth Defending Shield, and it takes a lot of Earth Shards to make, but yeah, if you need another lightweight physical shield, this is not a bad one to make. Like, it's a good activation chance, it's got a lot of defense, probably more than the shields that we currently have, and it can block Earth, which is good. But I think we're past the, you know, Earth spam at this point, but you know, that was like stage 8, but whatever, it's still a good shield. And then the other stuff we could make was these. So these are the almost perfect disable, restrict, and mind control prevention stuffs. So yeah, really good against sleep paralysis, petrify. Then we have one for confusion, blind, and silence. And finally we have the one for berserk, charm, and control, which is cool. Probably the disable one would be the one that I would make, but I'm saving my gold because gold is kind of an expensive resource, and we do need a lot of gold for other stuff, so yeah. So finally, let's just take a quick look at Genji's stats. He only has 500 physical defense, but that 500 means that, you know, you need a ton of stuff for that, especially because he does resist slash and stab attacks. So it's very difficult to damage Genji enough with physical hits, which is why magic is the way to go. And even then, 300 magic defense is solid, but Reimu's attacks do partly ignore that, so would have been really nice if I had just one more power level on Reimu though, and I could have had more damage coming out there. But hey, I made do with what I had, because magic buffing with this formation was actually kind of good. There you go, Cherno, your formation finally did something. So yeah, this has been GamerCow playing Touhou, the Genius of Savouros, and next time we go into Genbu Swamp. And, well, there's a lot of nasty stuff in there, but we'll take it on anyway. So yeah, till then, take care.